Wow, it's a very impressive evening. Good evening and welcome to the best of the Good Life as usual. My name is Drago. Woo! Talk about the location, eh? It feels good to be here. This is the Golden Tulip and we're excited to bring to you the show from this exact location. Now, the fashion industry with no doubt is one of the fast growing industries we have in this country. Okay, somebody can debate about it and talk about the art and entertainment, but the fashion is really making those numbers, and those numbers are starting to count. Now, with the strides that are made by the co-founders of fashion here in Uganda, the likes of Slivia Wori, Latif Madoy, we have Abrams, he can also qualify. You know, they made sure that this industry gets the right footing and it's off to the right pace and ground. So tonight, this weekend, I've decided to sit down with a young man from Makerere University. This man, he's the CEO of his own merchandise or brand called Oscar Kampala. Now, I'm sure and certain that you guys are familiar with that brand. Now, he has dedicated his entire life to making sure that men look classy, elegant, stylish, at the same time, look very, very fashionable. He's here in the building and he's really excited to be with you and share the evening with you. So don't move an inch or touch that remote control. Please tell everyone chilling has begun. This is the best of the Good Life and welcome to the show.
Oscar Nyesiga is one that has made his name for his excellent suits in and around the country. His presence in the fashion industry has totally changed the image of the industry with just almost 2 years. This 22-year-old's life rotates around his fashion business.
Hi everyone, I go by the names Nyesiga Oscar, proprietor Oscar Kampala collection, a designer brand that deals in menswear, specifically tailored, off-the-rack, tailored suits and also bespoke suits. I'm 22 years old, a student of Makerere University. So my family background, I come from a family of 5. That is 5 including my dad and mom. We are 3 kids. I have 2 sisters, only boy. A Catholic family, a very staunch Catholic family. I come from the western part of Uganda, which is Shema district. I grew up from Mbarara. I went to school from Mbarara, like my whole primary school. I spent most of my time in western Uganda. That's where I went for my primary school. Then I finished my P7, that was 2012. That's when I came to Kampala and then joined Kisubi. I started falling in love with fashion, mostly looking good. I was seeing people who dress well. I think as long as I started understanding, because my father used to buy for me nice jackets, nice suits. So I used to really love that. I couldn't wait for a time. They always bought for me a jacket. Like on Christmas, I would really not sleep if I got a new pair of suits. So my dad always collected for me suits, so I think he's a very big inspiration. Yeah, so I started Oscar Kampala back in my O-level. That was around Form 3. I used to help some of my friends get clothes for prom, a few jackets. I collect jackets from the market. I combine designs for them, so my friends used to like it. I used to love entrepreneurship majorly. I love entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurship part of it, because besides me collecting a few designs for my peers for prom, I used to also collect rose flowers and sell them at prom parties in my Form 3. Then I came up with the name Oscar Kampala. I think that was my Form 4. I wanted to come up with a brand from what I was doing by then. Then it came to Form 4, I dressed literally everybody in my class. Form 5, I used to dress Form 6s when I was in Form 5. Then it came to Form 6, my year, that was 2018, not so far away from this year. I dressed literally everybody in my class. So that's how everything is started. And I saved up during high school. My O level and A level had something together. So I used that to open up a shop immediately when I finished my Form 6. I sat my exams like in December. Then when 2019 came, like in Feb, that's when I opened up a shop. I was like, let me take this one officially. That's when I saw something in it. I saw that I could really take it serious and do it for my VAC. I thought it was just for VAC. Then here we are.
And good evening once again. Welcome back to the Best of the Good Life. As mentioned before, my name is Drago, and I'm pretty excited to be in this space with such an incredibly talented young gentleman. There is a saying that goes, find a passion and get to be the best at what you're doing. Now, today I decided to sit down with a student from Makerere University, and he's busy changing the surface of this fashion industry. He goes by the names of Oscar Nyesiga. I hope I pronounced that name right.
Yeah, Oscar Nyesiga. That's right, yeah.
You guys I'm sure you're so familiar with his brand. That is Oscar Kampala, is floated everywhere, and man, this guy is actually good. Now, the most essence thing about chilling is to get young people that are doing incredible things. And who to look up to than this young man. Man, I'm so excited to have you on the show, Oscar.
Thank you so much.
I keep on yapping a lot because, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. By the way, I first learned about your brand or your franchise, Oscar Kampala, through Twitter. There was 1 week it floated everywhere. I mean, whose idea was it? It was so amazing.
Those are things I always come up with my team. We find ways of, with friends. I linked up with friends who are on Twitter, who use Twitter so much. Some of them call them influencers, something like that. So I wanted, I don't know why, but I don't prefer using models. I prefer using my friends.
Okay.
Friends,
Who
my
are
classmates.
influencers with numbers.
Yeah, there are even people who don't have the numbers, but I prefer like using my classmates. If I want to display my work, I prefer, because those are my clients, most of them. Those are the people I dress most. Yeah, so I prefer showing my work.
And they're okay with it?
Very okay with it. They love it so much. Yeah, they
What was their reception about your suits, your merchandise? What was their feedback? Did they like what you were wearing?
They really liked it even before we shot, like in the preparations, as I picked fabric before the cutting and all that. They looked at what they were going to put on. Everybody liked it. They were so excited for it. So that's why they had a lot of love for it. So even when they were pushing, they really wanted it to get there, and that's a blessing to me and everybody that works with me.
Oscar, before we dig deep into this interview, waliwo obubuuzo bwe njagala okubuuza nga buli very, very vital. Nabuwandiise ne wano I don't want to forget because they're very important questions. One, why do you prefer to be called a fashion entrepreneur, not a fashion designer like we know it?
No, I love the entrepreneurship part of it more than I do both of them, but I find myself more obsessed with the entrepreneurship, the dynamics of the business in it. Yeah, I find myself more interested in that more. I love it more. That's why I front it more, because I feel like that's what actually everybody is doing. Like, if there is anybody who has gone big, they're still designers, but the entrepreneurship part of it, the business part of it, makes it more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that means there has to be something else that you do besides fashion. Is there?
Yeah, I do farming.
Okay.
Yeah, back in my home, in my village, I do farming. I'm into quite a number of things. I believe this is the time, this is the age where I always tell most of my friends, and most of my friends also know it. This is a time where we can, if you're in between the age 22 and below, or 18, if you make 17, it also depends on your background, what influences your mind, how you get to look at things. I feel like this is where we can take in all the stress. So Therefore, this is when we can take all the risks that you can try everything.
Yeah, it's
You
a
get-
try and error.
It's a try and error.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is why you can literally try everything, discover yourself, know your potential, your true potential as a young person. So that by the time you're like 25, at
You've
least
already
a number
figured it
of
out.
things make sense to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Oscar, the suits that you deal in, I mean, to a person who is not familiar, like me, it's my first time, like,
Yeah.
knowing about them. Why specifically those kind of suits?
So there is bespoke and the tailor-made suits.
Yeah.
There are off-the-rack suits, tailor-made and bespoke. So bespoke suits these are suits where most of the details, the work on the suit, is done by hand.
Oh.
Yeah, it's handmade.
Funny enough,
It's more of
I
craft.
thought you already sell ready to wear. Or...
Not really. Most of my work is tailored. Now I do tailor-made. Most of my work is tailor-made. Everything tailor-made.
Wow.
Used by use of machine. But bespoke is strictly craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, these you use hand. Yeah.
Oscar, with this question, I'm actually rooting out for total honesty. As a student from Makerere, where do you get the funds? First of all, where did you first get that money to start up that business?
Yeah. So as I told you, I started this thing way back in my form 3. You get. I used to collect. I used to have people I deal with. I retail for them. Yeah. So I used to retail suits, bring them to my school, add an extra price, sell to my friends, from parties. By the time I got to Form 6, because the school I was in, it had a lot of students. So like my Form 6, a class was like, we were like 400 students. I remember I dressed like 100 and something of them. So that was the best. And me, naturally, I'm not an extravagant person because if you're collecting funds, it's people believe it's not possible. Mostly the young generation, they think it comes really easy, really fast.
Because honestly, we don't have that saving mentality.
Yeah, and it
The young
comes.
people don't.
Yeah, they think it comes fast. It comes flashy. It comes. You need to really be. You have to achieve some levels of being humble and telling yourself the truth. Always, you have to know where you come from. You can collect a lot if you have that with you knowing where you come from. You have to tell yourself the truth. Don't be influenced to do what you can't manage. Yeah.
So it's still the same business. I've read in articles, it's still the same business that pays your tuition, that pays your upkeep and everything.
On God, yeah.
Wow. It's amazing, Oscar.
Yeah, man. It's a
So
blessing.
definitely you have to put the focus there. You had to put everything in.
Yeah, I had to put everything in because my dad had promised me. My dad is someone who always told me, like, since he always told me, you know what, after Form 6, you have to find your way. You're a grown man. Like, he used to push me that way. And I think he's even the reason I really put in my best because I actually thought he really meant it. Like, he used to tell me, if you get to Form 6, I'm done with you. You have to find your way. So, growing up with that in my mind, I knew things were going to get intense. And I'm someone who really likes being I want to afford my life. I want to make sure, and I'm someone who doesn't look at today. I'm looking at 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So that taught me how to look ahead. Like, I don't think for today. Today is already here.
Wow.
I can't do anything about it. So, but I can do something about next year. You get me? So that's the mentality I grew up with.
What's your thought or your take on children that are pampered? They reach 20 when they're still under their parents' wings and giving them everything
me,
from
yeah.
tuition to upkeep to, you know?
To me, that's even a blessing. If your parent can give you everything, you should look at that as a blessing and an opportunity.
But do you think you would have turned out the man you are now if that was the case?
This is a God's plan, so I wouldn't know. There are kids who come from rich families who are more serious, like kids you can't see right now who are even more serious. So I think it depends on the person you are, the type of person the type of person you choose to be. You get my point? The type of people you surround yourself with, because those really influence how you think so much and how you look at things. Yeah, so I think majorly it's about a person, the choices you make. yeah, it's not about where you come from. There are kids who have come from rich families that are so serious they don't play with life. Yeah, they know that if I don't do this, there is no tomorrow for me. Yeah, I know a lot of them. I have a lot of friends who are that way. Yeah.
But now they're looking at you and they're saying Oscar is doing it. Maybe. Are you an inspiration to some of them? Do you think so?
I don't really know.
Haven't you, like, seriously, haven't you met some that are saying that, Oscar, you inspire me?
People say it, but to me, I'm still really working tooth and nail to see that everything, to make sure everybody is with me, every Ugandan is supporting me. You get my point? Because at least right now I have hope I can see. But the fact that you can call me and tell me, Oscar, tell me about yourself, that shows me that I'm trying.
Yeah.
You get, and I feel like the dream is untouched yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as I told you, me, I'm someone who looks at 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Probably 10 years from now, I'll be
You look
having
at the
kids.
future.
I'll be having, yeah, you get my point. So those are things I really think about. So I wouldn't really look at this now. But there are people who tell me that, my fellow students tell me that, I tell them, man, if you really see something special about me, then you're so special. Because me, I don't really see that. All I do is try my best with life.
Okay. Yeah. Now, speaking about parents, before we go in for a break, any of your parents could be the mother or the father. Is any of them is a seamstress? Do they have that element in them? Batungako kubyalani.
Tebatunga kubyalani.
Kati I'm trying to discover your passion yavawa eyokwagala oddeeringa mu ngoye n'ebintu ebyo.
Era Katonda yasalawo. Kubanga my mom back then, I think like we used to live in Mbarara. That's where I grew up from most of my infant life. Yeah. So I think we used to have a shop. I remember wali chalani naenga ina abantu abatunga. They make uniforms, stuff like that, because for she's an educationist. So she used to have that business, but she left it though she became so busy with her books. She went to upgrade her books. Then I think that's when everything stopped. We were really young, like P4, P3, that was like 2008. Yeah.
Wow. What a superstar. Talk about Vision 2026. This is the kid to look up to. By the way, when I say kid, I don't mean it in disrespect, but in all respect and attribute. Man, I salute you. I'm talking about the man himself, Oscar Kampala, or you can call him Oscar Nyesiga. The hashtag is UBC Chilling. What is your handle, by the way? We trend that.
Yeah, my handles are Oscar Kampala everywhere.
At Oscar Kampala on Twitter.
At Oscar Kampala on Twitter. At Oscar_Kampala on Instagram. Facebook at Oscar Kampala.
Please keep the messages coming in on Twitter. The Wonder Kid is in the building. So we take a break. We'll be right back shortly. Don't go anywhere. So when we return, Oscar, we are going to talk more about Oscar Kampala as a franchise, as a brand that is becoming bigger and bigger each and every day.
Amen.
Please hang with us. Yes, and good evening. Welcome back to Chilling. Now, in case you're just joining us today, we decided to sit down with Kid Wonder. You know, he doesn't want that overhype because, you know, he's a bit modest. Now, Oscar, tachimanyi nti achikuwa. Mugambye nti obo oyagala kakasa, gwerinda Twitter street kyegenda okukola. No, because what we are rooting out for is to appreciate good work. I do personally, Drago, appreciate good work when I see one. So keep the hashtag flowing. That's UBC, hashtag UBC Chilling. Show some love. And also follow him on his handle, that is at Oscar Kampala. All right, now, Oscar, let's continue with our conversation. I want to find out, who are some of your inspirations and mentors in this fashion business?
In Uganda, I would say Brian Ahomoza.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think he has done the most for the industry.
That's A. Bryant.
Yeah, A. Bryant. I think he has done the most. I think every kid looks up to A. Bryant.
Yeah.
Everybody that's within that line looks up to him. He has really done the most.
Did you work with him? What is that experience like?
Yeah, I got a chance to work with Brian because My other passion is within events. I love organization. I love organization. So I got a chance to work with him a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I think he has done the most.
So according to you, Oscar, do you think somebody to be a successful fashion entrepreneur, they have to have a certain skill?
Yes, for sure. You have to have art. You have to understand fashion as the art. Then you also have to understand fashion as a business. You need to make research. You need to put in there because now for us young people, we are we are advantaged to information. Like you can go on the internet and research. You get a free lesson from the internet. Yeah. So you need to put in all the research and understand the dynamics of the business part of fashion. Then and the art. Then if you put them together, it makes a lot of sense.
What has been like the best highlight of this business or of Oscar Kampala? What has been your best highlight so far in your career as a fashion entrepreneur?
I always get highlights every day.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
I
living
think
in
mostly
Wonderland.
joining Makerere University was a highlight for me because that was a dream come true for me. I actually thought I wouldn't pull off. My dad used to tell me, when we finished, for us, we used to pay for ourselves, we used to walk to school, we used to do this. So I thought these things are actually a joke. Like, how can you pay for yourself school fees? When you're down there, you can't really think it's possible until I finished and I saw it. I saw myself pay money, apply for school, apply for a course I want. I was admitted. They gave me the bank slip. I had to look for money, deposit at 50%. Campus is somehow fair. You can
Yeah,
pay in
yeah,
bits
I've
and all
been
that.
there.
So
I
yeah,
know.
when I saw that come to me, like that was, that's the moment I knew that now I've grown up. I need to make decisions like a grown up man.
But do you think Makerere was the best decision for you? Wouldn't there be any other
It's
university
not
you
just
would?
the best decision, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It was
Okay.
God given, yeah. Because I wouldn't imagine myself, man. My career was a dream for me. Yeah.
Are you always this humble, Oscar? Were you raised like this?
Yeah.
Because when I first got in contact with you, I thought you were going to be this because you have a very huge brand. Yeah. I'm saying, but I mean, I was surprised to see a different version, a very humble one, a very welcoming one. We liaised on phone, we talked, we almost spent months becoming friends and building up this entire interview. And were you born like this?
Um, I can't tell because now I can't see myself, but I think that's me. As I told you, I made decisions. In this era of internet, there are many things that can influence your mind to not to live truly who you are, to live your truth. Like, be you. At the end of the day, tell yourself the truth. If you don't have something, say, I do not have this, but I expect to get this. And if I'm to get this, I have to move this way, I have to talk this way, I have to communicate this way. And I'm also a prayerful person. I believe in God so much. I'm so spiritual. So I think that only makes me and gives me a way to live. Yeah.
Okay, Oscar. Now tell me lastly about the media outreach, the media buzz that is happening in Kenya. How did that come about? And how are Kenyans familiar with your brand? Do you have a clientele there?
So first, I think I got the first Kenyan that was in a 2019 when at my shop at Ham. So Ham Shopping Grounds downtown. That's where I first opened my first store. As long as the moment I finished senior six, that's where I opened up. So I got my first Kenyan clients from there. So I was there, I think last month, KTN News, Kenya Television. They sent me a message. They said, we want to interview you, we want to know how you're doing this. And That's a blessing to me, man. I don't take that for granted.
Kenyans are good. So we are seeing Oscar Kampala going continental-wise.
On God, man.
Is that one of your wishes? Do you want to be known worldwide?
I don't want to be known, just known. I want to be supported worldwide, because I think that's really all I need. Like, if someone supports me, they wouldn't know how much they have gone. But I think supporting the brand, buying the products of the brand is the most important thing.
Oscar, what advice do you have for any other 22-year-old that is busy, glued on TV, watching you, and another who is following you, could even be 21 or 19? I mean, what's the message? Because me personally, at 22, I didn't even know what I have to do. I hadn't yet figured it out. But you look like you figured it out and you're focused. What is that message you want to tell them?
Oh, bro, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still also working my way. There are a lot of things that I really, really, really need to work on there. I still have dreams. As I told you, the dream is not that, it's untouched. We haven't touched the dream yet. But what I can tell a 22-year-old, first of all, you need to fear God. My mom always told me that this is not your world. You didn't create this world. So you need to seek from the Creator. Yeah, you need to know God first. Then second, tell yourself the truth. Know where you come from. Because when you know where you come from, you'll know your strength. You'll know how far you can go. Where you come from doesn't determine where you're going, but it motivates you. You can go far, far, far away. Like Cristiano Ronaldo always says that his biggest blessing is being born from a less privileged family. He thinks that's his biggest blessing. Like, what I'm trying to mean is, you can change everything. You need to believe in yourself. Then get friends. Your friends, when you look at your friends, that is you.
Well, thank you very much. So before we wrap, tell people how can they get in touch with your products, especially how can they locate Oscar Kampala? Where are you found?
So I'm located at Universal House, Loom Street, level 1, shop number F12. But mainly you can go to our social media handles at Oscar Kampala and at Oscar Kampala Collection. That's where the whole information is. You can get my number from there, my team's number from there. You contact us, then we hook you up with the best suits for your wedding, graduation, birthday. You want to attend an event, you want to do a photo shoot, we do all that. Yeah.
Wow, at just the age of 22 years, and he's still at campus and he's busy shaping and scaling the world. Wow, Oscar, I'm proud of you. Keep on flourishing and keep on shining. We are behind you.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
It's a blessing.
All right, it has been a great honor having you watching us the entire evening. So we'll let you go and have a rest and tackle that week with a lot of strength. So see you next time when Chilling returns. Bye and take care.